You know, when Lexus started out, they were powered by a V8. Now this LBX has just 3 cylinders. Let's find out how good it is. Subscribe to see the first drives of New Zealand's newest and best cars driven on New Zealand roads in New Zealand conditions. Casual isn't really a word you'd associate with Lexus, at least not till now. Now we have this LBX. According to Lexus, this is premium casual. We'll find out in a moment. First though, a wee sidebar. The only other Lexus to have 3 letters in its name, the LFA. Not bad company. But the car this shares the most with mechanically is the Toyota Yaris Cross. It has the same 1.5 litre 3-cylinder hybrid powertrain, although the LBX has a longer wheelbase and is slightly wider. But the best thing about the Yaris Lynx is still to come, fingers crossed. You see, there's talk of there being a Gazoo racing version with the powertrain from that bonkers GR Yaris. We're talking 200 kilowatts, that's twice the power you find under here. I reckon that would make the LBX as much fun to drive as the LFA. Back to reality, and this LBX is already here and at Lexus of Auckland City right now. They have this cool version and the other 2 moods, yes, not versions, moods. They're called Active and Relaxed. Each has a slightly different vibe designed to match the owner's lifestyle. And there are only 2 price levels, the slightly less well-equipped Active, which is $58,900, and the Relax and the Cool are both $65,900. The only real extra is all-wheel drive, which is a $3,000 option, but that's not available on the Active. You know, I said earlier that casual is not a word you'd associate with Lexus. Another word is rebel. Bear with me on this one. You see, Lexus are bucking the trend. Most car makers, especially the luxury car makers, their models get bigger and bigger. Lexus, though, started with the big LS, and their models seem to get smaller and smaller, and this is the smallest yet. What this isn't is a shrunken UX. The LBX has its own style, its own version of the Lexus spindle grille, and it works. So do those wide hips. But Lexus have resisted the urge to go over the top. That restraint has paid off. This car still has presence and class, but it will still also stand out in this premium small SUV or crossover sector. You know, I really reckon this is the best looking Lexus yet. The question is, does it drive like a Lexus? Well, the short answer is yes. It is strangely refined for a car of this size. Feels very much the Lexus. So much so you forget there's a 3-cylinder engine doing most of the work, unless you push on a bit. And then that 3-cylinder and the CVT box sort of let the oral composure down just a touch. But then you lift off again and the waft comes back. The electric integration is close to perfect, and if you want, you can go all electric. And there is an upside to the CVT. It is super smooth, although it can't smooth out Auckland's roads. If you're as cynical about why cars like this crossovers exist, just factor in Auckland's speed bumps. This used to be a perfectly smooth bit of road. I do have a theory that part of the reason for all the speed bumps in Auckland now is because they're so bad you don't notice how terrible the rest of the roads are. It's just a theory. Most of all, this drives, looks and feels like a Lexus. The surfaces, the fit and finish, the comfort. This is where the LBX beats most of the competition, because often the smaller cars feel too much like they're either based on a more run-of-the-mill stablemate, or they're just a little too cheap and cheerful. You know what? It's actually better than any other Lexus in here. I'll explain it. It's all thanks to the touchscreen, no silly haptic touchpads, and a conventional operating system. There's also a heads-up display, a full noise 13-speaker Mark Levinson audio system, even double glazing, but only up front. I'll show you what I mean. You see, in the back, it's not quite as premium. Harder plastic, single glazing, and despite that lengthened wheelbase, she's pretty snug for a big fella. Remember, this is not a limo, it's a small crossover capable of delivering 3.6 litres per 100, and the official CO2, 90 grams. That should keep it clear of any emissions tax the government may yet come up with. Other tech, well, there's the full safety suite, there's the blind spot monitoring, the car's watching you to make sure you're focusing on the road. There's even trailer sway control. That said, the tow rating is just 400 kg. And speaking of storage, the boot's par for course, 402 litres, although if you do go for all-wheel drive, that drops to 317 litres. Now, because it's a Lexus, you get 4 years unlimited warranty and free servicing as well. And the hybrid battery, that has an 8-year, 160,000 kilometre warranty. We'll simply put, the numbers add up for the LBX, but it's really doing it a disservice because not only is this the new standard setter for a small premium crossover, it's also the best looking Lexus.